So here we go. Welcome to another edition of the recap. And today I'm joined by the good old Sweetgrass Prince, Harvey Davies, as I get his 5 takeaways from the Blues 2-0 win at Accrington Stanley in League One. Harvey, thanks for joining, my friend. It was great to seeing you in Accrington. Town are unbeaten, top of the league, clean sheet. Oh, it's great to be a Town fan at the moment. How are you doing, my friend?
Yeah, can't argue with that, can we? I'm all good. Yeah, I'm all good. Brilliant result on the weekend, and hopefully we can push on now. A ground which we alluded to in the game day that we don't do very well very often. So it made a nice change, and all good from here. The tougher tests will come obviously when we face the likes of Plymouth and Sheffield Wednesday and that kind of thing. But as the cliche goes, you can only beat what's in front of you, can't you? So a really good start to the season, top of the league. It was a perfect weekend, wasn't it, really?
It was. It started to rain a little bit, didn't it? Started to rain, but luckily it wasn't as bad as it could have happened. As you know, the Accrington away end, there's no cover.
Yeah,
So but
that's only for the North, Ross. Honestly,
yeah,
that's good weather. That is
very true, very true. At first, I thought it was the sprinklers, but it wasn't. It was actually it was raining. But all good. Well, let's get right into your takeaways then, my friend. And the first takeaway is not being bullied. Now, normally when we go to the Wham Stadium, they got the likes of Ross Sykes, Colby Bishop, Harry Pell, basically bullying us. And we saw that last year under Paul Cook. We lost 2-1. But this time around, they still were physical, Accrington. But Harvey, we gave it to them.
We did. Yeah, I mean, I think we initially, the first 15, 20 minutes, I think McKenna alluded to it as well in his post-match, that I think we struggled to deal with them tactically. But there's a big difference in not being able to work a team out tactically than being bullied, which is exactly what happened last year. We played into their hands, we did exactly what they wanted, and we buckled under the pressure. This time around, it was completely different. As I said, we struggled initially, first 15, 20 minutes, credit to them. But as soon as we imposed our game and our style of play on them, it was pretty comfortable, despite what John Coleman's post-match interview says. It was pretty comfortable. And as you said, we historically go to these grounds and we crumble. But you look at the squad we've got now. We've got obviously Morsey and Evans in midfield, who are arguably, I think, Lee Evans. I mean, I wasn't fortunate enough to see him at Wigan or anything like that, but I think he's got a case for playing the best football of his career at the moment. I think he's been absolutely outstanding so far. Them two in midfield, you've got spoiler alert, Cameron Burgess at the back, who just heads and kicks everything, and we just look a lot more solid and compact as a unit. When you can bring the likes of Don Ball off the bench as well, who's got over 100 championship appearances, 6'2", he can get himself about a bit as well. We're just a lot more resilient this year and a lot more streetwise to deal with teams like Accrington, who we know exactly what they're going to do, and it's no slight to them because they haven't got the strength and depth of the quality that we've got, to bring players off the bench. And they do what they do very well, and we can see that because they haven't lost a game apart from the weekend. So I think not being bullied is a big one because, as I said, historically we do go to grounds and we all know what the outcome is the majority of the time. But I was really pleased with that. They tried to, but we gave them back just as much.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. It's a long journey, and to leave Accrington with a win, it was very, very good indeed. And not being bullied. Of course, at times, John Jones, there's pictures. I've got pictures of him being brought down and everything, and certain players may have got bullied on the day. But overall, tactically, as you said, we got the win and some good goals. And let's talk about your fourth takeaway, or your second takeaway. Another set-piece goal, Harvey. Last year, we couldn't score one, but this year we've been able to score a couple. And the first goal, Connor Chaplin scoring the goal, although the Dapo said it's come off his arse. We'll get into that later on. But yeah, another set-piece goal, my friend.
Yeah, I remember McKenna doing an interview post-match. I can't remember what the game was last season, where he said towards the end of it that we won't get promoted unless we score more set-piece goals. And I thought that was quite a bold thing to say, really, given our set-piece record at the time was abysmal. I think the only set-piece goal I remember scoring last season was at Edmondson, possibly at Plymouth, or I think it was something along those lines anyway. And it was obviously an area we had to improve this season, because at games like Accrington, where they've got 11 men behind the ball. They're really hard to break down. Your quality isn't always going to get you results. So you need to rely on set pieces to really break down the defence. And I thought it was another brilliant set piece goal yesterday. Lee Evans, again, his corners can be hit and miss sometimes, but it was a really good delivery. And we talked about Connor Chaplin's off the ball movement before, and for me, that's the most impressive part of his game. Because he's with him being not the tallest, he's so hard to pick up. So it's really difficult for defenders to, despite him being probably the smallest man in the box, it's really difficult to pick him up. And I thought we did brilliant yesterday. That finish was a fantastic finish, and we had the Lee Evans goal from a corner at the start of the season as well. And I think we nearly scored from a set piece on Saturday, as well, didn't we? With BURGESS and Leif Davis, I noticed was on corners as well on Saturday, which is good. Nice to have other options there. I thought he did okay on the day. So really pleased with another set piece goal, because it's going to be really important to score, and not just from corners but from free kicks, as we saw with Chaplin, and yeah, it's important to break teams down in different ways, and really pleased we scored from another corner on Saturday.
Definitely, man. Yeah, good finish on Chaplin. And there's a moment during the game, definitely one corner kick, I saw Chaplin sort of look at Lee Evans and go, doing the hand movement and stuff. And yeah,
that's the beauty. I'm just going to say that's the beauty of being at places like Accrington, because you're so close to the pitch. Yeah. You can hear exactly what they're saying, really, can't you? It's
pretty much.
That's a joy of League One.
It is, my friend. And your next takeaway, and you mentioned him earlier, Cameron Burgess, another great performance, of course, was signed from Accrington, going back to the Wham Stadium, and he has been fantastic since coming in. Why have you put him as your next takeaway, my friend? For the obvious reasons, but let you expand, my friend.
Yeah, he's been outstanding. He's been absolutely outstanding. I put my team prediction up a few days earlier prior to the Accrington game, and he was nailed on in that for me. We're really lucky. We're blessed with really good options in defence. Obviously, we've got Edmondson, we've got Keogh as well. But for me, Cameron Burgess is the most informed player in that defence at the moment. He's been absolutely outstanding whenever he's played. What worried me about Cameron Burgess is his ability in possession. The fact that he got turned a little bit easily sometimes, but he's improved on that so much. And his possession play isn't his best quality, but we need different qualities in that defence. And he offers such a variety of, he can kick it, he can head it. I don't think he lost a header yesterday. I haven't seen the stats, but I'd be surprised if he did. If he lost an aerial duel, I thought he was absolutely outstanding. He offers such a balance on the left-hand side with his, being left-footed, naturally left-footed, going to a team like Accrington, which he knows well. He played for a few seasons. He knows exactly what Accrington are going to do. I thought he was faultless all game. I really, really did. And I thought he was the same at Shrewsbury. And for me, no player is undroppable, but on current form, I don't see how he can't get in the team. I really can't, which is harsh on the likes of Edmondson, who I like. But I think Burgess does offer different qualities and a bit more balance on that left-hand side. And McKenna, said in his post-match as well that he's playing very, very well. And that's exactly what he's doing. He's taking his opportunities. And I thought potentially Cameron Burgess might be leaving on loan or something like that. I didn't see necessarily where he was going to get the games, but he's such an important part of the group, and he's doing really, really well. So yeah, really pleased for him. He does what it says in the tin, and that's exactly the kind of centre half you need in this league, especially if you want to get promoted. Because I think he must have had a banging headache by 90 minutes yesterday, because he was just launching his head at everything. He was really, really impressive.
Yeah, he's that warrior at the back. We saw that at Shrewsbury, who said, he had to wear a bandage around his head because he got a bit of blood on him. But yeah, now a good performance from him. Of course, going back to Accrington, where he played a lot of his good football as well. Now, next takeaway, Harvey, strength and depth. And we can cover this week in, week out, because we have got a lot of strength and depth. But to bring on Connor Chaplin, Ladapo, you mentioned earlier, Dominic Ball, even Greg Lee coming on for Leif Davis. That strength and depth is just is so important, and with 5 subs as well, it's a massive advantage for us as well.
Yeah, as you said, we can mention it every week, to be honest with you, but I think it's so important. We've got that 5 subs this year because we've got, as you said, we've got such strength in depth. Originally, Kyle Edwards wasn't on the bench, and was on the bench. Sorry, then he wasn't on the bench, and you look at the players that weren't on that bench yesterday. You got Kane Vincent-Young, Kyle Edwards. You got Kamara to come into that. There's a few others as well, which I'm sure I've missed. So we've got there's going to be players going into that squad each week that we're going to be surprised at on the bench. You look at Edmondson; he's another one that wasn't on the bench yesterday. I know Luco's injured at the moment, but there's another one. So it just goes to show the options we've got coming from the bench at the 60, 70-minute mark. McKenna's shown he's not the kind of manager to make half-time substitutions. I don't think we've seen that all too often in his time so far. But to be able to bring 3 subs off the bench at 60, 65 minutes and still have 2 subs left, it's brilliant for us. It's going to be so important. You've got, as I alluded to earlier, Don Ball, over 100 championship appearances to come on for the last 5 minutes. You've got Ahadme, who's in brilliant goal-scoring form, to come on for the last 2 minutes. As I mentioned just a few minutes earlier, Kyle Edwards, hat-trick of assists on Tuesday, doesn't even make the bench. So it's brilliant to see, and I trust McKenna to manage it in the way he has done so far. The likes of Caden Jackson, who hasn't started a lot of games yet, but came in yesterday. So everyone will play their part because McKenna is so methodical in the way he plans out games that he'll be able to pick a team based on how we're going to hurt them. So I think every player will play its part. I wouldn't like to be Kieran McKenna every Friday telling the players who haven't made the bench, you're not going to be on it this week. But it's brilliant options to have, and that's going to be so important, particularly during the winter months and January and that kind of thing, where naturally teams pick up more injuries because the schedule is so bloated, isn't it? So it's really important.
Yeah, and of course, Kyle Edwards, he travelled, and of course he was running up and down and warming up, but to actually not be in the 18, I'm sure it's not great because or the I won't say a fun story, but the story of Janoy Donashian. He used to be the extra man travelling. Of course, now he's starting week in, week out. He's been fantastic, but to be that last man who's not going to be playing, I'm sure it's not a great job to do, but you never know.
No.
Wait your time and jump in. Basically.
And Kyle Edwards may take some inspiration from the likes of Donashian, who, as we saw, was barely making the bench at times, and then, you put in a few good performances. If Kyle Edwards can start again, whenever he starts again or comes on and makes a really good impression and then does it again. I know it's difficult when you're not playing every week to get a real, source of momentum. But if he keeps coming on and making these really good appearances, we've seen with Caden Jackson that McKenna is not afraid to put him in. So he just needs to keep working hard. And the same with the likes of Kane Vincent-Young, who I thought was really, really impressive at Shrewsbury. These players just need to keep knocking on the door because it's a long old season, and they'll all get their opportunities, definitely.
Definitely, indeed. And now, the final takeaway, Harvey. And normally, as I said, when we go to Accrington, it's the first hurdle we fall on. But no, big win, 2-0 win, clean sheet, happy days, another monkey off the back. Of course, we've still got a few of those to come in League One because there's some teams we've not been able to beat, or we've still got to beat the team like Sheffield Wednesday. I'm trying to think of some other teams. There's other teams, of course. Of course, when we play Derby, that's going to be a big game. But no, go to Accrington, get the win. Happy days.
Absolutely, yeah. You make reference to it there. Something we didn't do last season. Alongside not beating a promoted team, we didn't do that last season. Not, scoring regularly from set pieces. We've done that more in 6, 7 games than we did the entire of last season. So you mentioned there we still got a few hurdles to overcome, which we didn't do last season. But at the same time, we can only beat what's put in front of us, and that's exactly what we've done so far. Arguably, we did lose it last season, didn't we? But a performance like that last season, it wouldn't have resulted in a win really wherever we went. But especially a lower league team who put themselves about a bit, or direct throw balls into your boxes. You look at the likes of Burton, who did the same. And we know how to deal with it now, and that's really, really important for me. So I think that's the biggest one. It was a really big result yesterday. I put on Twitter after the game that I've not seen McKenna that animated before. He was really, really going for it at full time, and he's so calm, isn't he, usually? But he knows how important going to places like Accrington is. And yes, derbies and Sheffield Wednesdays and Plymouths will be massive, massive games and really important. But it's just as important to come to teams like this and win, because if we 46 games in the season, if we look back and you think, Accrington away, we just couldn't get that winning goal, and Burton, we just couldn't hold on when they were throwing balls into the box and that kind of thing. But we've already overcome them already, and we're only 7 games in. We're 11 points better off than we were this time last year. So, a lot of tough tests to come, but I'm confident that we should overcome a lot of them, and especially with a manager and the coaching staff that we've got, and the players we've got currently. Everyone knows their role, and I'm really confident going forward. There'll be tough tests, and there'll be spells where we don't play well, and a few games where we might not win. But I think in the main, I think we're in a really good place at the moment, and it's brilliant to see the positivity around the club and on social media and that kind of thing. I know social media isn't the entire, isn't the views of an entire fan base, but it's good to see, and hopefully we can keep that up. And if we do go through 1 or 2 bad results, we can keep behind them and trust the process and all that, those kind of cliches. But yeah, really pleased, onwards and upwards. Tough test next week at Cambridge on Saturday. So fingers crossed we can overcome that, which again, we lost 1-0, didn't we, last season at home to Cambridge. So that'll be another potential monkey off the back. So they keep coming in this league, and hopefully we can knock each one down as they come along.
Indeed, my friend. Well said, as always. And yeah, Cambridge up next. We're going to be bringing you loads of different content throughout the week, of course, building up to Cambridge and all that sort of stuff. Harvey, well, thanks very much for joining me. Any other business, my friend? No
other business. Have a good week, everyone. And hopefully we'll have a good crowd. I'm sure we will again at Portman Road on Saturday. And hopefully another 3 points.
Top man, thanks for joining me. And thanks everyone for watching. See you next time. Bye-bye for now.